Welcome to another Tutorial Tuesday. Normally I take a sketch that you provide and I show what I would do with it. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. I noticed that the US Postal Service did a request for design submissions from a few different American companies to design a new post truck. My apologies first off to the designers of these vehicles. I know there's probably an extreme amount of limitations around what can be done, but I couldn't help but remember the same project that the British government did, and the result was quite beautiful. This really striking modern post truck design they did. So I wanted to start with the same exact wheelbase that one of the entries had and see if I could make some subtle design improvements to it to make it feel a little bit more cohesive. Let's start with doing a simple analysis of the design. This thing is very PC. We got this like vertical black trim and then black trim at the top front, a lot of cladding at the bottom, some black trim at the top at the rear but not over the door, and there's just a lot of really disconnected things. You have kind of this V theme going on in the front, but then these really big rounds and then round cladding around the wheels. So a lot of conflicting themes. But let's assume that the hard points are fixed and let's try to unify some of these things. The first thing I'm going to do is pull together all those pieces of lower cladding into one part line, basically. I know it'll be separate part, but let's have one unifying theme there. And then let's keep those upper radii going, but smooth it out again by putting basically a shut line in between all of that. And then let's continue the radii theme down over the hood and the grille, put some large radii around the headlamps as well, so it just has a kind of soft, friendly neighborhood vibe. And then some slight box flares around the wheels will give it a little extra clearance there. And notice how I made the wheel arches actually slightly squared as well to kind of go along with the kind of toaster shape of the overall design. Then let's bring this up to a little bit more of a presentation level. I want to prove that I'm using the same kind of underlay, so I brought in the wheels and tires from the original photo. And then I want to start by shading in this cladding, so just putting in some core shadows, and I really want to show these really strong horizontal themes throughout the design. And that gives it this really clean color break through the center that I'm going to use to apply the typical kind of Postal Service stripes later on. Some indications of some headlights and some daylight openings. I want to show that door it's more flush, but it's not completely flush. It's still a pocket door, so I'm showing that going back in space a little bit, and then just adding some detail, a little bit of highlights on the box flares, part lines for the hood, bringing in a Postal Service logo and those stripes, and we've got a nice little concept. Now, is this sketch great? No. Is this concept good even? It's, debatable, but I hope it's a little bit of an improvement over where it was. I wanted to do another concept, starting with the same hard points again, but taking a little bit of that arrow theme that we saw with the British concept and making it fit over top of the American package constraints. So still using the same wheelbase, door placement, daylight opening placement, and width and height. Showing how maybe we could connect the dots in a little bit of a different way that feels more progressive and futuristic. I mean, they tend to use these mail vehicles for decades, right? So let's do something that feels like it could last for a few decades. Again, is this sketch great? Probably not, but it at least gives us a little bit of a different look of where this project could have gone. I totally understand and empathize that the original designers were probably under tons of constraints when they did that vehicle, but I thought it was worth it to take a look of what could have been. Thanks for joining, everybody. Questions, comments, requests, throw them down in the comments below. Like, share, all that stuff. Subscribe if you want to see more, and hopefully we'll see you next time.